Good evening, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we have some newsy news. And I'm honestly conflicted about how to feel about some of it, to be honest with you. It's odd. So, welcome. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing all of the wonderful mod things. I appreciate it every stream. Fun Diane, glad to see you here. Phoenix, great to see you. Alice, I hope you're doing well. Poor Fundine, he's always driving. Good evening, Tammy and Becca and JKD Buck. It didn't even cross my mind. To be honest, I spent all day listening to Pink, so I went totally crazy and had to put my hair in, the vintage hairdo. So it was, uh, just all of the fun things. I was not paying attention, so I was shocked. Usually, I'm the first to know when people shuffle off the mortal coil because I'm always on my news thing, but today I just got full into Pink and thought, "Why not?" Also, I need to sell Vegevita mix if possible, but mainly alcohol just for ooh. Welcome, Zach, and Observation Station, and Becca Lynn, and Squid Pro Quo. Everyone, welcome, welcome, and Becca, happy early birthday. I had I can barely keep up with my kiddos' birthdays, and I want to skip my own, so I have decided to do that this year. With the power vested in me with my very own big scepter, Mr. Mo, the sweet summer child that he is, he's like, "Oh, so you're done buying scepters, right?" And I was like, "Ooh." And he's like, "Okay, what are you wanting also to buy?" And I was like, "Well, there's this, replica that lights up that comes out in April, and it's very expensive, and I don't need it at all." But he was like, "You're done, right?" And then he looked at me because he knows. He knows. Any hoozle, let's get to the news. O.J. Simpson has passed away at 76 after a cancer battle. I will say that he kept his battle with cancer out of the news. I had no idea he was even battling it. I feel conflicted because I feel like he did it. He was all the guilties, okay, y'all? Like, he basically the only thing he didn't do was Chandler Halderson, like, taking photos where he, was gonna do the unaliving or leaving body parts. I mean, honest to goodness, I think I was the only person in my class in 6th grade that was like, "He's guilty as sin." Everyone else was like, "He's OJ." And I was like, "I don't care, he's guilty. Have you seen evidence?" I shouldn't have been seeing the evidence, to be very honest with you. But like I said, I was born '87, I swear to goodness. O.J. Simpson, once beloved NFL superstar and Hollywood actor who was acquitted in the 1995 murder trial that gripped the nation, passed away in his Las Vegas home Wednesday when he was 67. I'm sorry, 76. You'll have to deal with me. It's been raining here a lot, and John, thank you for being a member for 2 months, and OJ is dead. How will he tell us how he died now? Welcome, Shani Jones. I haven't seen you here, so welcome, welcome. We have the best chat ever. I say that all the time. We just have the most wonderful chat. And Zach keeps me, from being a grammar and spelling outlaw because I don't follow no rules. I talk and run on sentences. I'm sure I have a dangling participle somewhere, and I don't even remember what a participle is, but it is a fun word. Anyhoozle, back to the news. Simpsons, whose fame, fortune, and legacy were forever changed Despite being cleared by a Los Angeles jury of unaliving his ex-wife and her male friend in what was dubbed the trial of the century, had been battling prostate cancer. On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer, his family announced on social media Thursday. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. Now, despite the fact that I think he was guilty as sin, I am a big believer in redemption and atonement and, forgiveness if someone is working toward redemption. So he could have been doing that privately. I don't know. He was kind of douchey. But there's always hope that one will de-douchify themselves and become a regular human being. I hope. I don't know. I do I do say everyone wishes that this is how they would leave this world, you know, surrounded by family and friends and just covered in love and, the good warm feelings. I don't know that he deserves it. I am so conflicted on this because I don't know. Nicknamed the Juice, Simpson was one of the most popular athletes of the late 1960s and 70s. His hands are huge. I've never realized how big his hands were. A Heisman Trophy winner during his days at the University of Southern California, I can read, I really can. The running back played 11 NFL seasons, 9 of them with the Buffalo Bills. He won 4 NFL rushing titles, rushed for 11,236 yards over his career, scored 76 touchdowns, and featured in 5 Pro Bowls. Now, I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. My mother and stepfather are football junkies, and I just have a resistance to understanding it. It Look, every holiday we have a football game on, and I still don't understand the rules of football. Now, to be honest, I've never put any effort into learning the rules of football, but that and euchre, I have just a mental block on. I have had people, like, 5 to 6 people over my life try to teach me euchre, and I think I broke all of them. Thank you for your super chat. John, we know St. Peter is standing there in front of the pearly gates with a glove and a bottle of I can't believe it's not butter saying, "Try it on now." John, I'm going to love spending time in purgatory with you. I'll bring a boombox, other people can bring snacks. We are gonna have a rowdy time waiting to get into heaven. Thank you so much. Let's see here. I was part of the history of the game, Simpson once said of his Hall of Fame career. If I did nothing else in my life, I've made my mark. Sir, you nearly decapitated someone, allegedly, exoneratedly, whatever. It, sir, you made your mark on your wife because you laid hands on her, which is gross. But I know I feel the great need to watch the entire Naked Gun trilogy and Airplane just for science. I love Airplane. Oh my gosh. Simpson quickly parlayed his NFL success into show business achievements, such as appearing in the acclaimed TV miniseries Roots and films such as The Naked Gun. He also famously became the pitchman for brands such as Hertz Rental Cars. But the athletic popularity and Hollywood fame came crashing down when he was charged with the horrific slashing murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman in Los Angeles in 1994. Live TV coverage of his arrest after a slow speed chase in his white Ford Bronco. I swear to God, if they don't put his casket in a Ford Bronco, They are missing a hilarity opportunity of epic proportions, though it could probably be seen as disrespectful. I would be laughing my boobs off, but feeling bad about myself for doing so. Oh, live TV coverage of his arrest after the slow speed chase in his Ford Bronco became infamous. His murder trial the following year was a tabloid and media sensation that mesmerized the country as the former football star's dream team of high-profile lawyers tried to refute a seemingly damning stack of evidence. In addition to courtroom bulldogs, Robert Shapiro and Johnny Cochran, the team included Robert Kardashian, whose children would later go on to wreck the minds of so many. I can proudly say, in all honesty, that I have never watched a single episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I just don't care. I I I I do wish, and this is just my personal preference, I do wish that Fox News or other news people would give me a warning before Caitlyn Jenner comes on, because that voice and that face are so dichotomous that it always weirds me out. I know that Caitlin's taken, vocal lessons, but it still sounds like, "Yeah, I would love to do that. That's just great. I am such a good lady." I mean, it always comes out even deeper than B. Arthur. So you might wanna get a refund on that, sir, ma'am. Damn it. Now I'm canceled. You know what? I hope in heaven look, in my heaven right now, O.J. Simpson is being interrogated by St. Peter while Norm Macdonald roasts the ever living crap out of him because Norm Macdonald got fired from SNL for making fun of O.J. Simpson because one of the head honcho big guys was, a friend of the OJ, if you will. And I swear, please, 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 please let Norm Macdonald be roasting the ever living Schnell out of Mr. O.J. Simpson to full applause and raucous laughter from everyone in heaven. The Blockbuster trial became stuff of legend when Simpson struggled to try to get on a blood-stained glove, causing defense attorney Johnny Cochran to exclaim, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." Simpson's acquittal on October 3rd, 1995 drew a mix of outrage, shock, and celebration across the country. "I don't think most of America believes I did it," Simpson told the New York Times in 1995, a week after the jury delivered the verdict. "I've got thousands of letters and telegrams, giblets, from people supporting me." I mean, next you're gonna say, like, you you got yeah, well, that is a telegram. Proud that people are still using Morse code. Despite avoiding jail for the murder, a separate civil trial found him liable in 1997 for the deaths and ordered him to pay $33.5 million dollars to Brown and Goldman's families. Thank you for the super chat, John. Now what juice will I have with breakfast now? You know, I am partial to cranberry juice, but that's just me. And then you can just add a little bit of vodka and you got a Cosmo. And it's technically you're just drinking your 5 a day, so and adding water because vodka means water. Don't listen to me. I offer no good life advice. Simpson's Heisman Trophy was auctioned off to raise cash, people reported at the time. The award and other belongings raked in almost $500,000, which went to the Goldman family. Simpson struggled in the years following his acquittal. In addition to auctioning off spoils of his previous careers, He struggled to pay taxes, defaulted on the mortgage of his longtime home. Zach, that means that you gave me some money. Thank you so much. What does this button do? And Debbie W. For $5, the only reason the glove did not fit is because he stopped taking his arthritis meds the week before. I Yes, and you would think that, a competent prosecution would have said, "Okay, have you done anything different with your routine in the last week?" You know you are going up against the, dream team of lawyers. You didn't have the dream team of, well, we all saw, Marsha, what's her face, and her Jerry curl hair, so never mind. I don't think we could have expected much more. Uh, let's see. His attempts to make money off books and TV interviews surrounding the murders were also squashed in court following an outcry from the victims' families. Zach, wait, what? I don't want to give you money. I think there is a way, and honest to goodness, I watch Matt and Blonde. So if you ever, send a super chat or something and you're like, that was a mistake, I know there is a way that I can do something to get it back to you. So I will learn how to do that. So if you ever do, I'm taking you partially serious, Zach. But if you ever do send one and, it was a mistake or fat finger, believe me, just let me know and I will try to get that back to you. Hello, Alice G. I am doing well. I hope you have had a good day. And Jess Ruby, you make a good point. The glove was also soaked in blood. It is leather. They probably didn't keep it, they kept it in an evidence bag, but that can really deteriorate a lot of things. And there's a way you can kind of look, if you've ever tried to put gloves on a toddler, that shit's damn near impossible, okay? Get mittens. Just give in and get mittens, okay? I'm telling you from a mom of 6. But you can make the you can make it very difficult to get a glove on, not being a toddler. Zach for 199, I want the $500 super chat refunded. I will look for it, Zach, and if I find it, you can have the spoils back. So, yeah, the glove not fitting was dumb. Him doing that book, if I had done it, was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life because I think after the civil trial, there was definitely a feeling that there were perhaps other motives for why he was acquitted rather than the evidence per se. Trying to keep it non-spicy. Christine Fortuno, welcome. Okay, so I wanna switch over a little bit because we kinda know what O.J. Simpson did. He turned into kind of a meme of dingusness that, if you do get away with the crime of the century, maybe don't rub it in everyone's face. But I did wanna let the victims also speak because there was a different article that gave, Ron Goldman's dad, you know, his side of the story. Ron Goldman's dad reacts to O.J. Simpson's death, quote, "No great loss." Sir, I you know what? If I lost my son and every day was a reminder of that loss, I think I'd feel about the same way. The family of Ron Goldman, who was stabbed to death alongside Nicole Brown Simpson, mourned O.J. Simpson only or O.J. Simpson's death only as the end of hoping for, quote, "true accountability," but scathingly blasted his passing as "no great loss." The news of Ron's killer passing away is a mixed bag of complicated emotion and reminds us the journey through grief is not linear. Zach for 4.99. How many super chats before Wolfram gets tired of thanking me? Um, well, Wolfram is a Sith Lord. I would not piss him off all that much. I mean, he helped Friberto. Friberto was his acolyte, and I don't know that you wanna, you know, tempt that. I feel conflicted because I shouldn't be happy that someone's passed away and, in my belief system, probably getting the justice he deserves. Of course, my brand of justice is letting Norm Macdonald roast the heck out of him in comedic hilarity that I wish I was around to see. So hopefully when I do make it to heaven, after those years of purgatory where I, think about my thoughts and such, um, I would be really, really happy to see a replay of that. Gone too soon, Norm Macdonald. O.J. Simpson, at least the father outlived you. Kim and Fred Goldman offered in a statement Thursday, hours after the news broke that Simpson had died of cancer at the age of 76. For 3 decades, we tirelessly pursued justice for Ron and Nicole, and despite a civil judgment and his confession in, quote, If I Did It, the book that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, the hope for true accountability has ended. Thank you, Jude, for being a member for 4 months, and yo, 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 we love you, Mo. Thank you. Ron Goldman was just 25 years old when he was murdered outside Simpson's ex-wife's Nicole Brown Simpson's Brentwood home on June 12th, 1994. Goldman worked as a waiter at the restaurant, Mezzaluna, and was believed to have stopped by Brown's home after his shift to return her mother's reading glasses. The pair was found stabbed to death shortly after midnight. Simpson, who was divorced from Brown 2 years earlier, was acquitted of the unalivings in October. The victim's family members, including Fred Goldman, always insisted on his guilt. Zach for 4.99. OJ is dead. I didn't even know he was sick. Norm, if alive. He'd probably be like, I didn't even care he was sick. But yes, Norm was the best at taking down people who that is the true gift of comedy, is that there are often not ways to I there are ways to get underneath someone's skin, and especially those that are so, ego-driven. Humor is just the best way to bother them, and Norm Macdonald knew this, and he used his powers for good. And thank you, Jude Curio, for $20 celebrating your making me laugh. Thank you so much. That is great. And I want to say thank you again. I wrote a community note to, and I'm going to be honest. I am flighty as heck. They're changing my meds. Um, but to whomever sent the Bakewell tarts, my sons were just so excited to open a box and, find those, and so thank you so much. They've actually forgotten that we have them, because I've hidden them. Ghostery, if I did it, O.J. Simpson nearly admitted to murdering his wife. Yeah, that's basically what it should have read, and, I'm not even sure that he wrote it. I think it was a ghostwriter, and the ghostwriter was like, "I should go to the police." And this is the most heartbreaking of all. I feel so bad for Nicole Brown Simpson's family and for Ron Goldman's family, but I feel especially heartbroken for Ron Goldman's family because all he was doing was taking a pair of reading glasses to this woman's house, being a good, kind person and just, paying it forward After his shift, he just was gonna walk down and give her the glasses and then go about his life. And you never think that simple act of taking something back would become such a horrific nightmare. Oh, well, to be fair, I'm not as quick as one would assume. The heartbroken father insisted earlier Thursday that Simpson's death was just a reminder of Ron being gone all these years. It's no great loss to the world. It's a further reminder of Ron being gone, Fred Goldman told NBC News. Simpson was ordered to pay both the families over $33 million in total in a civil suit for a wrongful death and battery. OJ died without penance, the Goldman's attorney, David Cook, told TMZ, adding that the family is waiting to hear if they will collect any remaining assets as part of the previous judgment. Alan Dershowitz, the well known attorney who rounded out Simpson's dream team during the murder trial, told NBC that he was saddened by the former NFL player's death. And thank you for being a member for 1 month. Zach, sorry. Like I said, I love Western medicine. I knew he was very sick, so I'm upset that he died, Dershowitz said at 85. I got to know him fairly well during the trial. It was one of the most divisive trials in American history along racial lines, the former Harvard law professor said. Simpson's trial came on the heels of the infamous Los Angeles riots, which broke out because of Rodney King. Now, that is a case that I eventually someday have a inkling to look more into because there are it look, it was just a weird case, but, it's a little spicy and, just, sometimes I don't know how spicy I should get. An Uber Eats employee delivering food on horseback takes social media by storm. No horsing around. I don't know how to feel about this picture. Residents of upmarket Sydney, Australia suburb Paddington are used to dining on the hoof, but rarely is their food delivered by horseback. Locals were therefore surprised to see a man in an Uber Eats branded uniform deliver someone's takeaway on a black horse on Wednesday. It has 1 horsepower. I'm not reading that, but I do have a flat roof. I'm just saying, I live on a hill and I have a flat roof. Make of that what you will. Yeah, I also don't want, my food to smell like horse, but he was being guided through the streets by his phone, which was attached to his helmet. This is a Darwin Award in the making. This really is, oh dear Lord, someone is gonna start a Darwin page at this point. People stopped in the street to take pictures and photos as the horse strolled past boutiques and restaurants. Well, there you go. A video of the moment has amassed more than 800 views. Okay, more than 800? Maybe they mean 800,000, because 800 wouldn't necessitate a story. On TikTok, when people from around the world commented on the coolest Uber ever. No wonder my food is cold. The delivery guy only had 1 horsepower, one person joked. Uh, and then he put FF. Thank you, John. Thank you guys for all the super chats and headstone epitaph. Rip OJ. We know you did it, and you even told us how. Oh my god, if they don't use that. I mean, I couldn't imagine why his family wouldn't use that. Well, the price of fuel is ridiculous, said another. Uber are investigating the incident after being made aware of the video, 7 News reports. There's no horsing around when it comes to safety on our platform, a spokesperson said. We are aware which neighborhood this took place in, and it isn't Texas, it's Paddington. We told them to we hold them to a higher safety standard here, and it's against our policy to make deliveries via horseback. Well, that sounds like a hate thought. You don't know that horse might identify as, a Lamborghini. How dare you, sir? It's the year of our clown 2024. That horse can identify however he feels. Damn it. If this dude is the famine, horseman, we're all screwed, y'all. We didn't know it was gonna be Uber Eats that done it. It wasn't the Demi Moore film, it was Uber Eats. They opened the hell mouth. It's all done. It's all downhill from now. Oh, that's right. I wanted to save that. I didn't need that. Um, Science is not her in her wheelhouse. Uh, Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee tells students that the moon is, quote, "made up mostly of gases." Now, y'all, we need to be kind to her. She graduated just like me before No Child Left Behind, and, well, we didn't benefit from education being we didn't benefit from Common Core, so we're a little bit behind the times. Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas told students during a ceremony that the moon is, quote, "made up of mostly gases." The same day of the recent solar eclipse, the former member of the science committee. Well, I mean, dang. Ma'am, I'm trying to as I don't generally do political stuff, I'm trying to stay as neutral and giving you grace, but good God, no wonder we haven't been back to the moon. Giblets. And former ranking member of the Space and Aeronautics Committee in the Congress. Y'all, this is why you should be afraid of the government. Sheila Jackson Lee is over here, heading the NASA committee and the damn science committee and thinks that the moon is made up of gases. We're done. Humanity is lost. When do the Trisolians get here? Anyone understand the three body problem? It it could be that I'm watching it and spacing out because, I just need something mindless to listen to. So, but can the Trisolians come here now, please? There was a heavy backlash online against the comment because the moon has a solid surface that also has been pitted by asteroid strikes to make up such images as the man on the moon. Yes, it has a very thin atmosphere, according to NASA. In response to the controversy online, Jackson Lee posted that Republicans are focused on stupid things and claims that she misspoke. What can I say though? Foolish thinker lust for stupidity. Ma'am, now I am looking to get a standing whiteboard back here, but let me explain it as much as I can by painting you a verbal picture. You are attempting to stand on a soapbox of science and being a higher thinker with a greater intellect and slandering people as as lustful for stupidity and stupid thinkers. Ma'am, you done just got caught telling a bunch of 4-year-olds and middle schoolers that the moon is made out of gases. I don't know that your horse is kneecapped as much as it is a walrus with no legs. FFS. Ma'am, do better for the love of all that is holy. In other news, a beloved Iowa teacher, Amanda uh, Delzell, fired after she reported colleague for alleged abuse of autistic student. You know what? This is courageous. If it turns out to be true, and I would have to look more into the story, but if this is true, if she, chose to bring to light a child that can't speak for themselves, that can't, um, verbalize when they're hurt, I don't know. Let's see. A beloved Iowa teacher was fired Monday following an investigation that she had used security cameras and sound alarms on a fellow educator who allegedly abused a nonverbal autistic student. I'm kind of okay with her setting up, to make sure that student is okay. The Urbandale School Board voted 4-1 to terminate Webster Elementary School teacher Amanda Delzell's contract after she spent 7 months on paid administrative leave, according to WHO 13. One of Delzell's former students, 7-year-old Keaton uh, Pettick, reportedly bloodied himself inside a bathroom when he slammed his head into the hard floor while the unnamed teacher stood by and failed to intervene in May 2023. Pettick is nonverbal with severe autism, among other disorders, which can lead to overstimulation and confusion when there's a disruption to his schedule. Quote, one of my students who is autistic and nonverbal was harmed by another educator to the point that there was blood in my classroom, the concerned teacher told the outlet in November. Delzell claimed many staffers were made aware of the incident, but not Pettick's parents, Paige and Cody. The next day, I went in and watched the cameras, and what I saw was my student's IEP and behavior plan not being followed, and the result was a serious injury to him. Now, for those of you that are not aware or don't have children, an IEP is generally what school systems will do if they've identified that your child needs extra help or um, you know, maybe has autism or ADHD. It's just a kind of heads up where you can work in theory one-on-one with the teacher and the administrators to have an agreed upon game plan of things you want to focus on, things you want, your child to be able to do, goals. And then if they have behavioral issues, then, setting up a clear and concise behavior plan, like if this happens, this will happen, this is the consequence, that kind of thing. Thank you, Wolfram, for gifting memberships. And those have gone to Fun Diane, Jenna B, Boudica. I love that name. If I didn't have a need as a dyslexic terrible speller to give my kids easy names because I was so pissed off I had a name with 7 letters that, I would have given one Boudica because she was bad AF. Barbara Hughes and TG. So, welcome all of you. I will be working on a members video tomorrow, probably news that's a little too spicy for not spicy enough to be Rumble only, but a little bit more spicy than my regular Newsy news. So, I am trying to get better at getting those perks out and everything. But for them not to tell the parents is absolutely unforgivable. Oh, let's see here. I saw his teacher standing over him, allowing him to self-harm, using her foot to push him down the hall. He was crying out in the fetal position. The student's IEP and behavior plans had precautions in place in case his behavior got to the point of self-abuse. So, his behavior plan states that any type of situation that Keaton is triggered and is banging his head on any object or the ground, an adult will immediately intervene and block his head with the safety cushions. Paige Pettick, who told WHO 13 in December. That is what's supposed to be followed up with by a nurse evaluating him. The school nurse evaluated Keaton and later called his mother to inform her that her son had been hitting his head, breaking open a scab on his ear, but was tended to immediately by his special ed teacher. Paige Pettick received an email from the school informing her that her son's special ed teacher would be, quote, out for a few days. Dalzell had repeatedly shared her concerns about the other teacher's behavior with her bosses, but was told it was under investigation and confidential. That is when Dalzell reached out to Keaton's parents. This is probably what got her fired, not, but I don't agree with it at all. I'm just saying this action is probably what led to her suspension and eventual firing. Then on May 30th, I was notified by another employee that the incident had occurred involving our son and that they were told to not say anything or speak about it to parents. Paige Pettick told the outlet. We couldn't believe it. We didn't know what to do, the Pettick said. We were upset and hurt and scared, the boy's father said. Cody, so the Cody is the boy's father, just not knowing what happened and wondering what are we about to witness or what are we about to see. I feel you there. I'm gonna have to make Volcano and Scorpion Island along with, stink bugs. Look, I don't know how they got in my house, but they apparently love us, and I feel like Archer's mother, Mallory, every day. I'm like, when my kids leave stuff around, like, "This is do you want ants? This is how we get ants." I just that's how I feel sometimes every day. Delzell was later remanded for telling the parents before the school board ultimately decided to place her on leave. She said she reported the alleged abuse because of her love of her job and her students. Being a teacher is my favorite part of my life. I love my kids. I love going to school, Delzell said. They took that from me when they put me on leave. I think parents need to know that this can happen in their school district. If you lose sight of kids' safety, then what are we going to do as a district? The furious parents have since filed civil rights complaints with the Iowa Civil Rights Commission about the incident. Following Monday's vote, Delzell's attorney blasted the school board's decision to fire the teacher. We are deeply disappointed by the superintendent's recommendation and the board's decision. We are not done with this fight, the lawyers said, according to WHO 13. We will continue to work to hold the district accountable for the way it retaliated against Miss Delzell for doing the right thing. They can be a double-edged sword, Atheist stance. IEP plans and their implementation is kind of cringe. Many safety ideas fly with one group of people, but the state may call them restrictive, and emphasis is usually on individual choices, but this is BS. I totally agree. They can be, a double-edged sword. You have to have the right teacher. I am so sorry, Tammy. I know it's hard when you're just it's bad, I know. I will try to speak in a soothing voice and not get Twitter pated because I know how sound can be too. Hopefully, we are taking your mind off things and you can just, hang in there a little bit longer, okay? My shirt says, "You're my zombie." It is from fun.com. They're actually really nice sweaters, knitted, I mean, not just, heat pressed on, and I usually wait until the, end of the holiday or the next holiday is coming up because then the sweaters will go on clearance, and that's when I buy things. It looks like she had a lot of support. She looks like a she sounds like a genuine teacher, a teacher you want, especially when your kids are struggling. Um, this teacher that they just fired sounds like the type of person that, would really take care of your child, especially if they had special needs and they just fired her. Y'all are dumb. A Vegas lawyer who fatally shot prominent attorney and wife had terminal cancer. So this was a story that came up, and I didn't want to report on it until we kind of knew a little bit more of the story. Tammy Bogard, it's fine. It's just the weather and what's doing all the rainy cold. I I totally get it. The the cold and the rain are things I dread now. The lawyer accused of unaliving his former daughter-in-law and her attorney husband during a deposition before unaliving himself had terminal cancer and had carried out the shootings in front of his wife, according to the reports. Joseph Houston, 77, shot and unalived Dennis, 57, and Ashley Prince, 30, during a child custody deposition Monday morning in Prince Law Group's offices after he told another lawyer earlier in the week he didn't have long to live, according to Fox News Digital. What a selfish, a-hole douchebag thing to do. I mean, not only does this child now have the absolute horrific trauma that grandpa unalived my mom and himself, you are not God. None of us are. You don't get to choose when people, croak and when they don't. Believe me, Kevin Spacey would have been gone like 80 years ago if I was in charge of that. But I'm not because I'm not God. But sir, that I don't yeah, you can make peace with your own mortality, but you don't get to pick when you take away others. For the love of all that is Cheetos, douche canoe. Quote, Joe told me this not long before the shooting that he was passing away because of terminal cancer. Makes me wonder if he felt like he had nothing to lose. I really don't know, though. I can't make any sense of this. All Robert Eglett, a former law partner of Dennis, told the outlet. Houston was representing his son, who was in a custody fight with Ashley Prince, who was represented by Dennis as part of a wider legal team. Ashley and ex-husband Dylan Houston divorced in 2021, and both had custody of their two children before Ashley filed a motion Monday to gain sole custody of the kids, according to court records reported on by Las Vegas Review-Journal. Joseph's wife, or Joseph Houston's wife, sorry. I read like was supposed to be questioned during the deposition on Monday and witnessed the shooting, Las Vegas attorney Lisa Rasmussen told Las Vegas Review-Journal. A pregnant lawyer was also in the room. Shannon Wilson ducked and hid under a conference room table when Houston began shooting, according to a court filing penned by another lawyer, Michelle Lobolo, who is also representing Ashley Prince, the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And not only did he perpetrate this crime on his family, he has now forever altered these other people's lives, especially not that I'm gonna say, something happened women most affected, but that pregnant, woman, she I mean, I can't imagine fearing for yourself, seeing this horribly graphic thing right in front of you. The ripples of this crime just go out and out and out, and it's for such a selfish reason. She asked Joseph Houston to let her leave the room in the middle of the gunshots. She explained to me that she asked Mr. Houston to please not hurt her baby as she is pregnant, Lobola wrote in a court filing. She explained to me that Mr. Houston allowed her to leave the conference room, and following her quick departure and taking cover elsewhere in the office, she heard additional shots fired. That is insanity. Good evening, MLS and Squab Bob and everyone and Becca Lynn. Ashley Prince's lawyer successfully filed a motion to allow the slain woman's sister to assume custody of Prince's two kids following the shooting, according to the newspaper. Lobolo alleged Dylan Houston may have had an idea of what his father was going to do before the deadly gunshots. Dylan Houston has denied any advanced knowledge of his dad's attack. The motivations of the tragedy of April 8th, 2024 is unknown to anyone but Joseph W. Houston himself. The defense's suggestion that this was a planned attack with the plaintiff is insinuating or insulting and quite speculative. Dylan Houston, who is also a lawyer, wrote in a response, "Did you just refer to yourself in the third effing person, you giant douche? God, if you spoke like that at home, no wonder the chick divorced you. I'd have tried to faith heal you a couple times, but I don't know if it'd have worked." Houston's family released a statement Tuesday morning saying that they were in a state of profound shock and sadness over the fatal shooting, according to Fox 5 Las Vegas. Dennis Prince leaves behind four children, including a 6-month-old baby he shared with Ashley Prince. And now a baby is going to be without its mother too? You giant festering boil on the taint of humanity. Again, you don't you don't get to choose other people's mortality. That is a God thing. I mean, none of us have that power because everyone has been a jerk to someone, and no one would survive if we had that power, okay? You don't get to do it. You don't get to take a mom away from a kid because you're upset that she decided to maybe change custody arrangements. Dingus. Doo-doo. Let's see if America is the most promiscuous country in the world. We have Las Vegas. I think we got this in the bag. We've got Vegas and San Francisco and New York City and Chicago. We've got a lot of big cities. Welcome, Hella Raid. Most promiscuous countries in the world revealed. Here's how America scores. Well, let's hope America keeps scoring. We're at a below replacement birth rate. Talk about a Turkish delight. Turkey is the most promiscuous country on the planet, according to an amorous analysis of the world's smexy habits. The average Turk has slept with more than 14 people, according to World Population Review, putting the naughty nation well above the United States. Okay, chicks always lie. I know I saw it in a movie, but with dudes, you subtract 5, and with girls, you multiply by 3 the number that they give. Let's see. The average sexual partners can vary significantly from country to country, as cultural norms can have a significant impact on the number of people someone, you know, well, kicks the tires with. The website declared, saying figures were comprised after compiling data sets from multiple third party sources. Turkey's top spot may surprise some, given that more than 99% of the residents are Muslim, and the country is widely conceived of to have traditional views when it comes to, the whole marriage, then the smexy time thing. But the list was full of sultry surprises. Countries thought to have more liberal views on this Mexican time, such as Brazil and France, were surprisingly low down on the list. The average Brazilian has bedded 9 people, putting the nation in 25th place. France, meanwhile, was far from frisky, clocking in at the 29th position. Citizens of the country have slept with an average of 8.1 people. To the sir that got the point 1, there are other things that you can do, and God love you. I'm sure the point 1, it's the motion of the ocean, sir. Good lord. After Turkey, Australia took second place on the lusty list, with the average Aussie having the smexiness with more than 13 people over the course of their lifetime. Neighboring New Zealand came in third, followed by Iceland and South Africa. The United States scored 13th place with World Population Review, saying Americans did the beast with two back with an average of 10.7 people over the years. That has us tied with Canada, who's also clocking in at the same stat. The World Population Review data jibes with research released last year by NAP which also found Americans had slept with 10.7 people. Alexa, I don't need you reading my diary. They get it from third-party sources, so all those quizzes you take, like which burrito am I or which Disney princess, they're just trying to figure out how many people you done slept with. That's all they wanna know. The least promiscuous country in the world's population review list were China and India, with citizens sleeping with 3.1 or 3 people respectively. Old line read. Sames. I'm gonna need to work. Or do I? Thank you for becoming a member, John. Wait, you were a member for a month. I just read your doodad. I am all confused. Maybe I did. Hello, Sal. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good day, and thank you for looking into, that Grambo case. I appreciate so much that you would do that for me, so thank you. Oh, no worries. I was just like, I swear I'm not smelling burnt toast, but I thought I saw that John had been a member with the little green box for just today. So, there we go. Ladies, gentlemen, we need to work on our stats. I'm just kidding. A mountain goat had a pretty sucky day, let's be honest. He got stuck under a Kansas City bridge and survived a rocky rescue. Well, he's a mountain goat. I'm sure he was, okay being near rocks. I am not a goatologist. I am not Valhalla, so you would have to ask Valhalla if mountain goats are secretly afraid of heights or something. An escaped mountain goat that somehow got stuck under a Kansas City bridge has survived a rocky rescue effort and now may be reunited with the owners who suspected he was stolen from their farm 2 months ago. Who in the hell is stealing goats? What is going on here? Who steals a mountain goat? I mean, call me crazy, but that just seems what in the actual I am all beyond crazy confused as to who the hell would steal a goat. I guess goat thieves. Uh, it's a story that captured the heart of Kansas City, said Tori Fugate of KC Pet Project, a nonprofit that handles animal control for the city and operates shelters. Forget a solar eclipse, we're on a goat watch. After Monday's eclipse, people spotted the animal believed to be the missing goat named Chug hopping around on pillars that support the bridge high above the ground below. Hoping to guide it to safety, a driver managed to get a rope around the goat's neck, but that only added to the danger, Fugate said. When the firefighters tried to rappel over the side of the bridge to capture the goat, he got scooped and tried to run to the next platform, but his hooves slipped and the rope caught, causing the goat to hang from his neck. Oh, dear Lord. John, thank you so much for the super chat. I was like, no, I'm writing them down and I'm pretty sure, but I love that I never trust me. That whole self-confidence thing you're supposed to do, like, trust in yourself. I'm always like, I have had to have screwed this up somehow. John, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm confused too, but we will do more. We'll do one more. Everyone in Turkey, all I wanna do is have some fun. Hope okay, firefighters managed to undo the snag in the rope, creating slack in the line. The goat fell as much as 15 feet to the ground, landing in a spot where crews had added padding in an attempt to soften the impact, Fugate said. Uh, well, no, no. I don't know that I tell everyone this, but I failed at a basic. I am not what you would like to call sporty. I seem to, I seem to be really good at injuring myself, but not intentionally. I just seem to have no spatial awareness. So, if I turn a corner or try to walk in a straight line, I will either herd you into a corner or I will bang myself on the wall. It just That's why I will never get one of those little scooter carts because I would be a menace to society. I just know it. A waiting veterinarian sedated the goat, and crews carried him in a sling to the top of the rocky hill where firefighters gave him oxygen. Then he perked up and was taken for x-rays, Fugate said. He miraculously has no broken bones. The goat had been clambering along the bridge supports that are as much as 80 feet or 24 meters above the ground. A fall he wouldn't have survived, she said. She said that this was just the latest part of the goat's adventure. He entered the shelter as a stray on March 13th and was dubbed Jeffrey and was adopted later that month, but he immediately jumped the fence at his new home, she said. Thanks to his media fame, yesterday we had someone reach out and say they think he's very similar to their goat that went missing back in February. The family lives 2 hours away and came plans to come to the shelter Wednesday to confirm he is their stolen goat. If he is, the plan is to bring Chug home with them. The goat's adoptive owner said that that's okay with him. He seems very particular about his living situation. Squabub, I'm putting it up, but I'm not reading. Audio coffee, I think you're right. The goat's gonna be humble bragging about skydiving and bungee jumping, and then being rescued by hot firefighters, because in my head canon, they are all hot, holding a puppy with no shirt on for some reason that I am sure is tactical. My mind is a weird place. I wouldn't go there. I'll have to send this to him. I'll have to copy and send it. I know how to do that now. The small things you take for granted, I think are big achievements when I learn them. In our final story, a 9-year-old girl deadlifts 165 pounds, 3 times her body weight, in a wild video. Good form, shoulders back, tight belt. Yes. And you know what? I wish I would look that fierce. She was all, like, throwing her little straps and everything, and I was all like, "Thank God I didn't pass out and or" look, it's a little TMI, but 6 children a strong bladder do not make, okay? So, I was always impressed that I didn't piddle when I did heavy lifting. She put her in Hercules. I'm fining you for that one. That is a class action lawsuit and punishable by death. Come on now. That was the most horrible. Normally, I forgive your puns, but that was awful. 9-year-old Indian weightlifter Arashi Arasha Goswami proved that powerful things come in small packages after she deadlifted a back-breaking 165 pounds, as seen on an Instagram video with 48 million views. The youngest and strongest Indian, the tiny but mighty youngster, wrote in the caption to an impressive clip. At not even the age of 10, the Panchuk Panchkula-based weightlifter has captivated the world with her many incredible feats of strength, which she frequently posts to her more than 735,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, way to go, way to empower her. When I was doing weightlifting, I felt really empowered. I mean, not to go on a not in a third wave way, but just like, "Oh my gosh, I can train my body to do better and bigger things." I can start out with a 20 pound, kettlebell. Also, on a tangent, communism is bad. Look what the Russians did and the Bulgarians and the freaking, you know, all of the bad, horrible things that you have to do in your weightlifting class came because of communism, because that's the only reason you would make a kettlebell and Russian twists, and Bulgarian split squats are the devil. They just are. They're you just can't do them. They're impossible. It's like a sobriety test when you're sober and you still can't do it. For her latest age-defying stunt, the teeny titan decided to lift 165 pounds, 3 times her weight of 55 pounds. Her prior personal best was 132 pounds, which she accomplished at just 8 years old, setting an Asian record. The nail-biting clips shows her sporting a lift belt as she prepares to hoist a barbell laden with multicolored weights that tip the scale. I mean, she actually had really good form if that weight belt is supporting her the way it's supposed to, and this isn't something, obviously, that she just jumped into. She's probably been training to get up to this. So it's again her parents' choice. If it's something that is a sport that gets her movement, that's I'm not a doctorologist. I have no idea if this is terrible for, her bones or anything like that. I just know that it seems like she's at a fairly competent gym. She has good form. So, as long as she's training well and this isn't a detriment by everything, I don't know. Let's see if the, article talks about anything. Let's see. "Wow, it took me years to even attempt that weight in my teens. Mad respect," exclaimed one viewer regarding her flexploit. Flexploit? Really? New York Post. "I make awesome made up words. You make terrible made up words. Hire me. I can make up like a gajillion right now. You're terrible." Another wrote, "Easily 25 kilograms, 55 pounds more than my personal best, and I'm 42. This is unbelievably impressive. I would like to see all the tough guys comment deadlifts in the comments. Deadlifts 3 times her weight," challenged another in response to the comment section haters dismissing her achievement. She has been her powerlifting pilgrimage began in 2021 when she set the record for the nation's youngest deadlifter by hoisting nearly 100 pounds, as determined by the India Book of Records. Since then, she has taken weightlifting by storm, winning multiple competitions and even getting sponsored by Muscle Blade and Giari Fitness, two of India's popular fitness brands. I don't know how she does it. Is it genetic or does she have some rare gift? Her proud father, Avanish Goswami, told Sportstar he hopes one day his pride and joy will compete in the Olympics. While certainly impressive, Arash Arasha is not the only super strong youngster on the global scene. In 2022, 9-year-old Canadian girl Aurora Van Ulft, also popular known as Rory Van Ulft, managed to deadlift 244 pounds, which accounts for more than 3 times her body weight. Okay, she must be a heavier girl, and that's not taking away anything, but weight limits and how much you can lift are generally dependent on your frame. So, let's say imagine one day I came in as a size 2. Now, that's never going to happen because I have hips, but a 90-pound person can't lift the same start weight as maybe a 240-pound person just because of the muscles that you engage daily to just do things around. It's probably going to be easier for most people, for the heavier person, the taller person to pick things up. So if my mathing is correct, she might be just a little bit heavier and taller or built a little differently, and that's how she's able to get so much more weight on there. That's my only thought. I have taken my night medicine. It's getting close to like, "Yay, I'm off camera. I can take off my makeup time." Well, I had the birthing hips before I had birthed. You know, it's bad when and again, TMI, but, when you go in for your very first appointment, when you find out you're having a baby, they do this exam to see if your pelvis is going to be big enough to have said baby. Well, as with everything glorious in female healthcare, you get, the paper gown with the stirrup things, and it's not very comforting when the doctor's like, "Oh, you got some big hips. We're gonna have no problem with you." I felt like, "Well, I'll probably do well at the auction. I don't know, your honor." I mean, it it's a good thing to do because some people really honestly and it's quite dangerous to have very narrow hips. And it can be make delivery much more complicated. So I understand the gist of the test. 21-year-old Mo was not too excited about the thought of this because, I had brought said husband with me to be, for all the good stuff like hearing the heartbeat allegedly and all the other things. I didn't realize that this was a test, and I was like, "You can leave now." I was like to my husband, I was like, "You can leave. We don't I don't need you." Yeah, no, he was like, that was an interesting test, and you did great." I was like, "You know what? Can we stop talking about my, ability to birth children right now with my hips?" A little bit weirded out about the, you know, whole damn thing. Could we just not? Any hoozle, I am sending you guys over to Shizzy. I was going to join him, but I probably will not. It has been a lot of cold and rainy weather, like Tammy said. Sometimes that just gets you all the fun, not so great nerve and chronic pain stuff. And I am so glad to be able to share my, kind of struggles with chronic pain and have found so many of the listeners and people who come here uh, are struggling with the same thing, which stinks. And I wish we didn't have to go through this, but the community that, has come together around it is just, it really is amazing and it's encouraging. And I, I just appreciate it so much. So I will be seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, as we know. So it's probably going to be another vintage hairstyle because I am just in the mood here lately. But, we will have fun. We will have super duper fun, and it is awesome. So, I will see you guys there. Have a wonderful evening if you are going to bed, and I will see you in the morning. As always, say something nice to yourself, say something nice to someone else if you go out, you know It's amazing what a compliment will do and how much people will smile. Just appreciate people around you. We can always add a little bit more kindness around the world. Anyhoozle, I'm done. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. I hope you're giving OJ hell. Yes, Kat, I'm going to let you go out.